The time has come for our top 10 rap songs of 2022, and it's been an amazing year for music, so it's going to be fun going through this list. And guys, let us know down in the comments, what is your favorite rap song of this year? So let's get things started. We have 10 songs each, all different picks.
Yes, sir.
I don't know where the fuck you went. You don't know where I went. Number 10, I have ETA by Dr. Dre. What's your number 10?
My
pick?
number 10 is Aquamarine on Cheat Codes, bro.
Wow,
So,
I have it a bit higher up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You want to start off with ETA, man?
Yeah,
Give me your
so
explanation.
ETA, I mean, like, I've been kind of having this craving for a G-Funk jam for the longest time because we don't really get that many of those anymore.
Yeah.
So who better than the fucking originator and pioneer to give me that craving? To fill that craving. So that's what Dr. Dre did here, and
Yeah.
I absolutely love the back and forth between Anderson .Paak and Dr. Dre. I think that, Dre is so good at choosing a sparring partner. If it's, Dre and Snoop, Dre and M, Dre and Anderson, the chemistry is fucking immaculate. I love just that breezy bass line. It's the perfect backdrop for those smooth rhymes. And I also feel that, like, once Anderson introduces Busta into the song, it kind of turns into like this amazing cipher where you don't know who's gonna grab the next line. It's kind of all over the place, and it's just a very fun and playful song. So I thought I should include it in the list.
Yeah, you know what's cool about the top 10 list too, and I'm going to go on to Aquamarine, is that like I feel like there was a lot of resurgence of old sounds that were kind of put into like modern twists, and ETA is a perfect example of that. And it's weird because I feel like that song maybe should have gotten a bit more hype for the quality of it. It kind of went under the radar too because it dropped on the earlier half of the year. But let me get into Aquamarine on Cheat Codes. I think this is easily one of the best songs on the album. I could have also included something like Belize off of Cheat Codes, but I mean, man, like the sample choice by Danger Mouse on this track is absolutely flawless. You're getting Black Thought in a vibe that, like, you're finding him in like the prime of his career right now. It really doesn't feel like there's any decline on his penship. And of course, like, for me to summarize the whole two verses of this song would be absolutely impossible for the time that I have on this podcast, just because you literally have to go line for line and really understand all of the different ideologies he's bringing in here, all the different types of entendres he has. Like, even looking at the rhyme structure of the verses, it's near flawless, and I really couldn't find a nitpick for it. Plus, it's one of those songs that gave me an earworm because going into this year, I obviously got a lot of new sounds that I did enjoy, but talking about the resurgence of old sounds, this feels also incredible because it sounds like it was maybe made in like that early 2000s vibe, and now it's coming to me in 2022.
Kind of the feeling you get with the whole album
exactly,
to some extent.
And like even the vocal effects on Black Thought were really well done, blends in perfectly with the backdrop and the production, so I had to include it on my list. Aquamarine at number 10. Let's go on to number 9, all right? I have Eulogy on 2000. What do you have?
I have a Joey Badass song myself. I have Head High.
Yes,
which is actually one of the singles. I'll start off with Head High. I think that it's just a very wholesome song. I feel like it's almost kind of like Joey Badass's Thanksgiving song in the sense that, like, it's just him being grateful for his life, being grateful for surviving up to this point. And I also love kind of the autumn feeling that this song gives you, from the strings all the way to the message, which is just very, heartwarming, I would say. And I especially love the story that he tells about how his friendship with X started and how honest he was with X when he was going through his music. And, like, he literally told him, this is what your album's missing. So I love kind of the story he takes you through there. And I think even the hook is absolutely timeless. Mm-hmm. That whole idea of, like, you're hugging the block, but the block isn't hugging you back. I thought that made for one of the best hooks of the entire year. And I just think that this is one of those classic Joey songs that feels timeless right after release. Like, automatically it felt like it was going to be one of those songs that defined Joey, and that's why I brought it in.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so number 9, Eulogy for me. I mean, I went with something more low-key off of 2000, and, like, maybe if you would have asked me, I'm not sure, like 3-4 months ago, like maybe I would have had like Make Me Feel There, maybe I would have had something like Brand New 9/11. And I love 2000 overall as a record. It's super lush. I love the luxurious production, but this kind of goes away from maybe the soundscape of 2000 just a bit, because you're getting like Joey on this classic boom bap beat that I love, but he's also using a very similar cadence to the ones that you might find on a project like All American Badass. So I find as an aesthetic as a whole, Joey could have done no wrong on this song. Plus just the way that he opens up his verse, kind of just like that classic Third Eye shit that I love from, like, let's say projects like 1999. Him bringing that content matter back, but now in a new perspective, was really interesting to see, talking about problems that not only he's seeing in society, but within, let's say, the realms of his own career and where he's viewing the game going. I found the content matter super nice as well. And man, this is a late night jam type of Joey, bro. Like, this is really like that, that
500
boom bap,
bends
like
shit,
that boom bap that you love to hear from Joey. And I do feel like when someone has to do boom bap, who's going to do it better in 2022 than Joey? So that's why I have Eulogy at number 9. But let's go on to number 8. I have Few Good Things on Few Good Things by Saba.
Nice.
What do you have?
I was debating putting that one in. I have Feel the Fire by Metro
Oh,
Boomin,
shit, okay.
featuring Takeoff and
Fire.
A$AP Rocky. And I didn't really expect this to make my top 10 list, but I was crafting it. I'm like, this song has not gotten out of my head since I heard it. I had to fucking include it. And I think the reason for that is just that, like, it's kind of an outlier when you're looking at, like, the whole Heroes and Villains album. It's kind of the one song that really emphasizes lyrics and kind of goes away from that trap-based solely type production. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of it. It really made it stand out on the album. Apart from that, I mean, Metro was in his fucking bag with this. I mean, from the sample choice to even the way he makes the beat build. Like, once you hit that 1 minute mark and those drums really kick in full force,
it's over.
It's a fucking crazy vibe. And you're literally getting, for the first time, a collaboration between two of the best rappers from the 2010s with Rocky and Takeoff. You're getting Takeoff coming in. And, you know, this was his first posthumous verse, and it truly is a testament to how amazing of a rapper that he was, because he's giving you this alphabet rhyme scheme, literally rapping every letter in the alphabet in just 30 seconds, except for maybe the letter U that he maybe missed out on. But it's still an amazing showcase of his talents. And when you're looking at Rocky, he gets deep right off the bat, talking about greed, making references to Adam and Eve, and he literally raps like, only got 2 feet, why do we need new shoes? Like, this is the maturity I've been waiting for from Rocky, and it was an amazing collaboration.
Absolutely. And it was also a perfectly placed track because it kind of like, you know, it kind of like closes the album to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I really like that just because like it is one of the best songs on the album. But let me get on to Few Good Things. Talking about an outro, man, this was a perfect song for me in my eyes. And I knew that this was going to crack. I told you this was going to crack my top 10 songs.
Major
of the year
feature list too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think Black Thought has one of the best features of the year on this song. I explained the feature a bit more in that top 10 features episode that we did if you guys want to go check it out. But listen, like, you want to talk about dynamic production, man, you get this beautiful somber sort of production that bleeds in for maybe, I think, a minute mark. I'm not sure the exact timestamp. And then once you get the Black Thought verse, bro, the whole production and soundscape changes of the song. And I feel like that seamless transition in between the intro of the song to Black Thought was perfectly executed. Plus, like, it's a feel-good song, bro. It kind of puts me in a euphoric state, like, especially with the way that song starts off. You get, like, this kind of vibe that you're walking through a forest, you're hearing the birds chirp. It's a really nice use of soundscape where you're, like, you're just in an environment when you're listening to this song. I think the concept of the song, Few Good Things, and being appreciative for what you have and really understanding, you know, what's implemented into your lifestyle rather than looking for exterior sources for happiness was really well done on this song as well. And as I said, as soon as I heard it, I knew it was going to be cracking my top 10.
Good pick. Okay, number 7.
What do you got?
I got Thun by Nas.
Oh, fire. I got the highs and the lows by Chance the Rapper.
Okay, another Joey Badass appearance on this
absolutely.
list. Do you have any KD3 on here? Let me ask you that.
Not for my top 10 songs.
Wow.
Not for my top 10
Nothing
songs.
from Kid, not even Michael and Quincy.
Not for my top 10
okay.
songs. Listen, this is my top 10 songs.
It's your list, bro. It's your list. I think it's a bit of an L not having it, but tell me about your number 7.
Okay, the highs and the lows. Like, you know, you had explained this concept perfectly when we were doing the features as well, because you had this feature on your top 10 features. And I just love the concept of the song. And when it came into my life, just like, I was observing a lot of things, and like a lot of things were happening at a quick pace. And I was just like, when I put on the song, it felt good to me. You know, it felt good to be able to hear that Chance and Joey writing, especially from two guys that have experienced those highs and the lows, not only in their career, but as explained in the song, in their personal life. And, you know, to be able to get that type of relatability factor at a time in my life where I needed it, I mean, there was a certain sentimental value that went on behind it. Plus, you know, the production is beautiful and jazzy, exactly what you want from a Chance the Rapper and Joey Badass collaboration. You could argue that they both have equal chemistry on this, just because, like, Joey did have one of the best features of the year on this song, but Chance has one of the best verses of the year on this song at the same time for me. So I think the writing on this song was immaculate, and it gets me excited for what Chance has to come in 2023. To be honest with
that was definitely a special song. But yeah, Thun by Nas is my number 7 pick. And first of all, like, this does not feel like a Nas song. This is an Escobar song. It feels like he's bringing back that Escobar season where he's really immersing himself into, you know, that rich mobster persona. That you would have gotten on something like Hate Me Now, maybe. So I thought that was fire. Apart from that, Hit Boy understood the assignment. He comes in with these classical strings. Kind of reminds you of, like, you know, strings you would hear in, like, an old mobster movie, let's say. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. And you're also getting one of the best moments of the entire year where Nas is actually referencing back to the Jay-Z beef, saying how, like, you know, he's still hearing people in the whip kind of dissecting bars from Takeover. He says the beef still ain't over. So that was an amazing moment for all hip-hop fans. And apart from that, I mean, you're getting Nas in this very grimy state of mind where he's rapping with a lot of force, a lot of aggression, a lot of vigor. And I also feel like it's really just a testament to how he hasn't aged whatsoever. He still has these powerful and strong cadences. So I had to include it, bro.
Yeah, funny story about that. I'd put out on my Twitter, like, how is Nas rapping at this age like that? And, like, people were, like, quote tweeting me, like, bro, is he a fucking NBA player? Like, you think he's going to slow down? And, like, I kind of understood after that, just because there's so many great MCs that are rapping well at this age, but Nas is doing it at a different level for sure. But let's keep going on with this. Number 6, I have Blackest in the Room on SSS. What do you have?
I have Aquamarine by Black Thought. That's where mine
okay, I'll let you
that.
take lead with that, man. Go for it.
First of all, just like the atmosphere, the production is amazing. You have these sweet strings, you have light drums, you have Michael Kiwanuka singing on the hook, and he's kind of singing about how, like, everything's burning down around him. So listening to the song, it kind of feels like you're entering this clean slate. It's kind of like, you know, there's been destruction and now you're ready to flip the page onto new horizons. So I kind of like the setting that's established with the song. Apart from that, I mean, you have Black Thought rapping from sort of two different perspectives. The first perspective is more about, like, just the origins of humanity. He's getting very philosophical, and he's also telling you how, like, he believes his lyrics should be studied at Juilliard or at Berkeley or, like, these prestigious music schools for how much value you can actually get out of them.
But they do, though. Those verses are incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how profound the lyrics are. And into that second verse, he's more rapping about, like, what life has been like for him as an artist, how he feels like he's been taken advantage of, and just a lot of deep stuff. So, I just think that it was a very depressing song, but at the same time, I think Black Thought said this in an interview once, like, a lot of classic songs tend to be melancholic at times.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And even at that, there's still, like, a sort of euphoric feeling to the vibe of the song as well, just because of that sample flip in the background. So, like, yes, the content matter could be seen as a bit pessimistic and, like, realistic, but at the same time, it's a fantastic listen. But let me go on to Blackest in the Room on SSS. Man, this is the perfect, you know, showcase of Uncle Lal and, you know, fucking Freddie Gibbs coming together and seeing how their chemistry rides out, because, like, you get this super jazzy production to start off the song, and, like, you never know where the soundscape's gonna go, because then, like, you get through halfway through the song and then boom, bro, it just gets super dark, and you get Freddie Gibbs in, like, that thuggin' sort of vibe, bro. And to see, like, that Freddie Gibbs with, like, that type of prime, like, Alchemist sort of production is a hip-hop fan's dream, in my opinion. Like, to be able to get that in 2022 was such a relief for me.
My favorite song off the album,
bro,
too.
you know, and I could have included also something like Space Rabbit from that track list, but I'm like, objectively speaking, the rapping performance is on par. He doesn't stop, bro. It's like one whole extended verse. That beat switch by Uncle Al was absolutely perfect, and the replay value on this song has been amazing for me, bro. I had to include it, and honestly, I really thought this was going to crack my top 5, but I just left it out, and you're going to see what I have going into number 5. So, talking about number 5.
Top 5, it's time.
I have System M on the Forever Story. What do you have?
I have Miss Mural by Lupe Fiasco off of Drill Music and Zion.
Okay,
so,
my original list actually had Drill Music and Zion, the title track off of Drill Music and Zion, but I had it in my honorable mention.
No Lupe? Okay.
No Lupe within my list, but man, System M, this is one of the most personal songs off of the whole album, you know, when it comes to the Forever Story, and Hollywood Cole did such a fantastic part with his production on System M, and I love the Forever Story as an overall listen, but when it comes down to my favorite track, it has to be this. Like, we were taking road trips and we were playing it, we were, like, in the studio playing it, and I'm like, man, this sounds fucking fantastic. And you're getting JID on more of a low frequency in comparison to the rest of the track list, right? Like, you have, like, more high voltage performances, like something like Radar, even something like Out Louder 2, but this kind of takes a step back just because of the content matter that JID is rapping about. And if you guys want to go check it out, please go on Genius and actually go through these verses, because there's a lot to unpack. You could go through all the different types of stuff you want to go through, and I wouldn't be doing it justice by explaining it now. But yeah, I had to include it on my list, man. It's been one of my most played songs of the year as far as that album goes, and as far as 2022 goes, so it cracked my top 5.
Yeah, you might see that very soon from myself. But yeah, my number 5 pick, Miss Mural, wrapped up the fucking amazing trilogy of these songs where Lupe is pretty much
Painting a picture.
literally painting a fucking picture with like 1,000 words, bro, because all these songs are like 5 minutes long. So you definitely have to be ready for the long haul when you're listening to the song. But I absolutely love this because it's a masterclass in just like this allegorical storytelling that you're getting from Lupe,
absolutely.
where he's taking you through the story where there's a patron and a painter, and what ends up happening is that the patron asks the painter what color he would actually paint the gutter. And then he's trying to really understand, the hardships and the lifestyle of the painter, but he can't understand. And at the end of the day, it's just this big metaphor for Lupe Fiasco's relationship to his record label and how they're pushing for him to make music that would sell while he wants to stay true to his artistic integrity and his faith. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what the song is about.
Yeah, I love it.
But I love the dynamic between the two characters. I love kind of the revenge plot that takes place by the end of the song as well. And anytime that, Lupe gives you these lyrical onslaughts, the imagery is phenomenal, and you know that it's going to be one of the most impressive feats on a lyrical standpoint of the entire year. And I also love soundtrack and the saxophone riffs that he brought in here. Very jazzy, very beautiful.
Very complex song to go through as well. Like that was like also something I had considered. Like when you were making your list, did you ask yourself about replay value? Like how is Miss Mural?
It matters.
Like especially within like your personal rotation, how is a song like that and something so complex made it?
Replay value isn't like everything at the end of the day. So it's kind of like I played this song maybe 6 or 7 times this year, and every time I listened to it, my mind was fucking blown. So I had to include it.
Okay. So now we're getting deeper into the top 5. But number 4, I have Melt Session number 1 on Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. What do you have?
I thought this was going to make your number 1. I won't lie to you, because we were talking like a few months back, and you're like, this is Song of the Year. So it's going to be cool to see what ended up taking your number 1. My number 4 is System M by Jid,
fire. So I saw that too.
Featuring James Blake.
Okay, so I'll let you take the lead on that, man. So like, go into the content matter of it, just to give people more context of the writing of it, and like, why did it like crack into your top 5 for this?
I had to crack it to my top 5. Like you were saying earlier, there was so many songs off the Forever Story that I could have picked. I was debating bringing in Crack Sandwich. I was debating bringing in something like Bread and M as well. But this is really the standout track for me, and I think that like you put perfectly, you're getting Jid on a lower frequency. He's more mellow. He's more reflective, meditative on this song. And he's really taking you through the struggle of being on the road, being away from his family. And I love especially the fact that all 3 verses are packed in with amazing subject matter, especially when you look at that 3rd verse and he goes into how his relationship with his sister has become strained because he's spending so much time away from home. And he's also going into kind of the perils of being a famous rapper and how there's these misogynistic mindsets that are surrounding him, how there's all this greed that's kind of in his inner circle, and he's trying to kind of push all that away. And I love how realistic it is, because he's saying, like, despite all this bullshit that surrounds me, you're going to find me back on road. You're going to find me back in these environments where I'm doing what I have to do to get this bread up.
Incredible.
So I love the cadences. I love just the writing on here. I love how James Blake comes in and kind of serenades him with the hook.
And I find like that James Blake feature is also a perfect transition point within the actual verses, because you're getting super heavy verses, right? And like to have James Blake there, just as like far like a technical standpoint, provides relief for the listener. I find there was also a seamless transition.
Yeah, and I love the pain that Jid actually pours into this, and it feels like the centerpiece of that album to me.
It does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the best song on there. But Melt Session number 1 on Melt My Eyes, See Your Future.
This is hard to leave out for me.
This one, Oh, you left this song
I
out.
left
You
this
didn't
off,
put this
bro.
on.
I know.
Wow. Okay, so
I know.
Sheesh, and you're complaining to me about King's.
You know what it is, though?
Come on.
I didn't want to put too many songs like from the same artist,
but I had to though. Like this was a must lock for me. I'm being honest with you. Melt Session number 1. It's literally like Denzel Curry going into a therapy session and getting into like just how he feels about his progression over maybe the last year of his life. Like that's what he's kind of talking about. How he would use people for his own demise, and like how he would go through life kind of maybe taking advantage of people, and now he feels like his karma is running up to him. But now towards the end of the verse and the writing of the song, you start to realize that Denzel is turning a new leaf in his life. He wants to go into more of a meditative state where he's kind of more observant of the events that are going on around him. And the Robert Glasgow, production is, it's fucking seamless. Like this is easily one of the best produced songs of the year in my opinion. It was a perfect way to open up Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, and listen, man, if there's a number 2 maybe in the future and this becomes a bit of a song series, I would love to see it. So I had to have it at my number 4 position, but let's get into the top 3.
Top
This is
3.
when shit gets a bit dicey. We might have a similar top 3,
I think we
but
do.
but all kinds of different little plays, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, let me go on with this. Number 3, I have The Heart Part 5 by Kendrick Lamar. What do you have?
I knew it. Yeah, it's gonna be different placements. Johnny P's Caddy by Benny the Butcher
okay,
featuring J.
so-
Cole.
Go for it. Start it up.
What the fuck can I say about this song that I haven't said already? I feel like I've spoken about this track on a million episodes, but I guess the more that I think about this song, the more that it takes up the number 1 spot in so many different categories. To me, it's the best Griselda song of the year. It's the best feature in J. Cole's catalog. I think that it's also the best verse of 2022.
Yeah.
And I just love how, J. Cole is just brimming with confidence here and comes in, starts off the verse by rapping about how, like, his birth was miraculous, almost as if, like, he's this religious figure to the rap game. And he just goes on with the slickest double and triple entendres, the craziest internal and multisyllabic rhyme schemes. Like, on a technical level, I've said this time and time again, it is the most impressive verse of the year, one of J. Cole's best verses ever, but Benny the Butcher as well. On
Yes,
this
it's
song
super underrated
did
verse.
amazing. Everyone kind of glistens over it, but I love the fact that he's rapping about kind of the differences between the drug business as well as the rap business, how those kind of two worlds are intertwining for him. And, he always does well on the Alchemist production, and everything about this song is just fucking perfection.
Yeah,
to me.
you see, I think we have a similar top 3, but let me get into The Heart Part 5, baby. Listen, this was the perfect way to
The
start
Hard Part 5 under Johnny P's Caddy.
Yeah, I had it. I had to put it there. And listen, I'm a huge Kendrick fan. I am. I really am. And I really love the way that he started off kind of the rollout and displaying the material that would be on Mr. Ron the Big Steppers with The Heart Part 5. I remember that moment perfectly where, like, I was at my grandmother's dinner table and you guys are calling me and it's like, dude, The Heart Part 5 is out. You got to listen to this. It's fucking incredible. And it was nothing short of incredible, to have, that I Want You sample implemented into the production was absolutely incredible. Talking about the production as well, like once you get to like maybe, 50 to 60% through the song, the drums are removed completely from it. And I feel like that's really good because Kendrick is attacking all kinds of different perspectives on this song. And it all kind of ties into like generational hurt and how people need to move on from that hurt and build upon that. And also the cultural references that he uses, like let's say O.J. Simpson or even someone like Kanye, like Will Smith, like these are cultural icons, right? That like ended up making a lot of progress in the entertainment business, but to be able to strip back from that and to show
the human side
and the mistakes that they've made, I feel like was really well displayed on this track. And also looking at, the way Kendrick's able to rap and actually attack that, but not make it seem corny, like this could have gone south if it wasn't well executed, right? Because even like the Nipsey Hussle performance, like a lot went into this track. So for Kendrick to be ballsy enough to be able to attack that, for him to be able to take that artistic risk, for him to be able to make it sound good and to be able to have one of the best productions of the year, I think was really well executed upon. So it cracked my top 3.
You're going to hear me talking about it in like fucking 15 seconds. So let's talk about our number 2 picks. Number 2 for me, The Hard Part 5 by Kendrick Lamar. And I'm assuming you have Johnny P's Caddy.
Johnny P's Caddy on Tana Talk 4 at my number 2 position.
I'll start off with the Hard Part 5 just to piggyback off of what you were saying. There wasn't a better way for Kendrick to come back. And to be honest with you, like this is the only song this year that made me cry real fucking tears, bro.
Are you
like,
for real?
Yeah, I was tearing up listening to it at home. Then I drove over here to the studio to fucking to get ready for the video we were gonna do about the song and. Fucking waterfalls, bro, coming down again.
It's also because of like the cultural moment of like that Kendrick return.
It's the fact, it wasn't that for me. I think it was just like how much each and every single word resonated with me. I think in terms of just like articulation, this song was perfectly executed, and it's a piece of poetic genius that just evokes intense emotion and kind of offers closure on a lot of storylines that we've experienced from celebrities and figures in the entertainment business. So I love Kendrick's approach with this song. I love the fact that, yes, he flipped the amazing, Marvin Gaye sample, but he turned the idea of like, Marvin wanting to be in a relationship with a woman to Kendrick wanting the hood to embrace him and embrace everything he's done for so many communities. And it's kind of a swan song too. It's kind of being like, I can no longer be the voice of a generation, but this is my last outing in doing that. And it was fucking amazing. Like you said, the whole Nipsey Hussle verse where he kind of embodies Nipsey, that was a high risk, high reward type of situation
And it
where
paid out.
it could have gone sour, but it didn't. It was a very touching message that he left behind.
Some of the best writing all year for sure.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I just think that it's an emotionally grilling song, and it's the one that kind of resonated with me the most, word for word. But it didn't get my number one spot. But what's your number two?
I didn't get my number one spot either. But number two, Johnny P's Caddy on Tana Talk 4. And I think that this is literally a perfect rap song, starting all the way with that Benny the Butcher verse. And it was kind of like this, say goodbye to the hood sort of verse for Benny, where he's like, I've moved on from that, but don't worry, I still have ties there, so don't fuck with me. And it was a perfect way to actually introduce the song because, like, it's not super dark in tempo, but it's a bit aggressive from both of them because they're both asserting their dominance in different ways. And I love that connective tissue between both of those verses. So yeah, going on to J. Cole's verse, I mean, this is easily the best verse of the year, as you said. I mean, you can't get better than this. The whole like Einstein, entendre, and him going into like all the wordplay, the way that he captivates you onto the scene with, on the day I was born, there was lightning strikes and shit like that. It feels like he's taking you through a movie. Like that's how cinematic the verse feels as well. And man, this song has me craving for an Uncle Lal and J. Cole project one day. That's what it did. Like, I really wanted to see this even before the song had came out. We had spoken about this, and you end up getting it in 2022, and bro, it exceeds expectations for how fucking cool it was. So to be able to see J. Cole also dive into the Griselda realm, that was super encouraging as well, because what type of energy he's going to come with? Like J. Cole can't really do like the whole drug talk, sort of rap. Like he's never done it in his career, and I feel like it would be off-putting for the song, but he almost sounds better on that type of production than Benny does.
But he didn't do that whole drug talk thing. You know what I mean?
But that's
so.
What do you mean?
I'm saying like subject matter wise, he wasn't going into that Griselda bag.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's like kind of like the thing for a lot of Griselda records is like a lot of coke rappers, or let's say like whether it's Rick Ross or Pusha T, they always go into their world because it meshes perfectly. But with J. Cole, to have a real MC come through and to be able to deliver one of the best verses of the year within that realm was also incredibly inspiring to see, just because you have one of the biggest rappers in the game collaborating with Griselda, and to see that match go through this year was absolutely incredible. But okay,
number one, was there ever any doubt?
Was it, what do you got, man? What's your number one? Tell me, spoil it for me.
Running?
No.
Walking by Denzel Curry.
Walking by Denzel Curry for me too.
This is a perfect hip hop song. Like I love that whole idea. That walk-in symbolizes forward progression, forward movement, which is what the Melt My Eyes See Your Future album is really all about. Denzel's personal progression, his evolution as a human, him kind of leaving the past behind to look forward to the future.
Yeah.
And just the streams of consciousness you're getting from Denzel, the ways that he's rapping about cycles of oppression, and also the surroundings around him. Like, I don't know if you paid attention to this, but just like the amount of detail that he goes into about all of his surroundings, like he's providing you this visual aid with his words.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like just the whole idea of Melt My Eyes See Your Future was perfectly encapsulated within this song, because like the whole concept, at least to my understanding, and the way I feel like I connect with the album and not only this song, is just like you have to kind of like strip back and kind of move away from a situation and kind of see it from a bird's eye view to be able to attack it. And I feel like once Denzel achieves that, let's say through the writing, you see that he's progressing as a human being as the song ends up continuing. And I love the transition and the sequencing from, Melt Session number 1 into Walking. I felt like that was a beautiful transition. And let's talk about the fucking, the beat switch towards the end of the song.
Shout out, I think it was Cal Banks that did this beat.
Oh my goodness. Once those drums end up kicking in, you're just in a fucking locked mode. So what's cool about the song too is that like if you like Denzel for more of his meditative sort of productions and more of that type of performances, you get that with the first verse, and then in the transition where he's like, well, I took my cigarette that I don't even smoke, which was kind of a cool little piece of comedic value. Boom, you get that super energetic like Denzel Curry that you absolutely fuck with. But then, bro, like, I'm not sure if you realize one part of that second part of the song, the whole production stops kind of, and he's like, bring the beat back, bro, and he ends up ripping it again.
That tempo just speeds the fuck up.
Because it feels like this roller coaster. So, as you said, man, bro, it's literally a perfect song. If I had to give this song a rating, it would be perfect. There's not a single flaw in writing. It's energetic, it makes you reflect, and it's definitely the highlight of my year, and it is my favorite Denzel Curry song of all time.
Yeah,
I think
it's definitely up there. I mean, Sirens is another great one. There's so many fucking great Denzel songs, but it's a lock for top 5. And like you were saying, like, You're getting boom bap drums in the first half, then you're getting more trap bass drums, so it's kind of like bridging the gap between two different styles of hip hop that Denzel manages
Even
to do
the
so
sample
well.
flip is incredible.
And I
on
love
this.
that's what actually remained is that vocal sample. It stayed for the first
didn't
and
change.
second.
And
Yes.
then, bro, that's how crazy the song is too. Because like once you get into the layering of the production, you're like, bro, this is fucking genius. There's so much going through here. So
And also the way
Wow.
that his voice becomes more agitated, quicker, louder as the song progresses. Like it's just a perfect evolution in real time of music, bro.
it's
Of music and message.
Oh, it
Like,
was
it's-
it was incredible. Yeah. So listen, guys, that's our top 10 songs of the year. Thank you for the ride, guys. It's been a fantastic year. We're doing our award show actually on December 29th. If you guys want to come through, it's going to be fucking fantastic. Whole community's going to be there. It's going to be a full blown live stream. We're going to be going through a bunch of different categories. So we're going to have the stream up for you guys available on the channel. Much love to everyone that's been supporting us all throughout the year. I mean, so many good songs to go through. And as Lou mentioned, if you guys want to drop your favorite song of the year, please go to do that in the comment sections. I love going through them and seeing what you guys have. So much love again, guys. Thank you for supporting us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.